LED. I have included a header file NFP to have all the functionalities, and it's a very simple program. And shutting off the watchdog timer for the microprocessor to work, and then I'm setting one register in a port to high and configuring the register, configuring that bit as output. And in the while loop, I'm toggling the pin. So if I compile it first, it will take a while to compile, and there's no errors. And then I run it, and I see the LED blinking. It's blinking quite fast, at around half a second. It turns on and off. So once we establish that the LED can be turned on and off, I'm going to close this program, and we go to make this push button act on the LED. So I'm going to take as set another project on, and now there are two ways of making the push button work. One is using button debouncing, and one is not debouncing. Right now I'm running the program for the not debouncing. What not debouncing is, it does not allow the signal to settle down after the button is pressed. So once I download the code into the board, if I press the button, you see, if I have not pressed it for the sufficient amount of time, it does not turn on or off the LED. So the LED does not really respond to this push button quite well. Even if it does, it would probably by mere chance that I hold the button on for a long time. So how do you get past that is we introduce in the code the button debouncing part, and so I'm going to implement the same code but with debouncing feature in it. So what we in the code, if you look closely, what is happening is I'm setting output ports, setting registers as high, taking some input. The input would be this button if it is pressed, and the output should be this LED. And if the button is pressed, I'm going to toggle the LED. So I compile the code, wait for a while. So if it is compiled, and yes, it does, I implement the code, LED turns on. So now if I press it, and the LED turns on or off, and if I keep it hold, you see the LED is blinking. So even though it is an improvement of the previous code, it's not quite what we want. We want the LED to turn on, and we want the LED to turn off. But if we press it holding, it will retain the previous state. It's not doing the work. So how do we get past that is we introduce interrupts in our code, and what an interrupt will do is it will look at this, set the output port, set the LED as output, take this port as input. But in this code here, we have this line, this SR register general interrupt enable. So what I'm saying is to the program that you can be interrupted, and if you are interrupted, you go to this interrupt service routine and see what the interrupt service routine does to you. So in a way, it is saying that the microprocessor is running on its own runtime, and when it is interrupted, then only it serves this LED functionality that we are trying to show. One thing I would ask you to point out that the way I wrote the code is very well commented. It shows the example, it shows the description, what this code is supposed to do, it shows who wrote the code and the date when it was written. Each line of the code is commented, so you can get a clear idea of how long, why, the reasoning and the rationale behind each line that is used. So I compile the code. It will take a while to download into the development board. Yes, it does. Hopefully no errors, and no, there is not. So I run the code, and so once I press it, the state should change. It does. Once I press it, this state should change. And if I press it and hold it for a long time, it should not do anything.